I don't know. I
Yeah.
think that I don't know. I always have said in the past that like as the game goes longer, Turbo kind of has an advantage, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case because a big part of enhancement shamans is their off healing, and if dampening is in, their off healing obviously gets reduced by a lot. But this is a matchup that can take a very long time, depending on what happens. Patricia going to use that Shroud of Concealment right away. Daisyduke going to perhaps pop that invisibility. Nope. Right away going to be opening up onto Blizz, the sap onto Zeepai. Klba still in stealth, able to get some hots on the Blizo before going into any CC. Well played by him, making sure he was in that stealth. Now he's going to be going into the Deep Freeze, Ring of Frost. He is in bear form, so there's going to be no follow-ups you see unless Patricia decides to use that blind. They are in Zeepai right now. He does have Safeguard as well as that Shamanistic wall up, so he's going to be able to tank a lot of this damage and probably be okay.
Yeah, probably Daisyduke now taking a bit of the damage from this turbo. He's dipping down to about 50% health here. He gets locked out on that polymorph, but I don't think these Resto Druids are going to give him an opportunity to get that polymorph off. There's the Iron Bar coming out into Daisyduke, the Stormbolt. Patricia wants to get offensive, though. There's the Smoke Bomb onto Zeepai, the Deep Freeze on to Klba, but he's in bear form. There's not going to be a follow-up poly out of that. Zeepai is going to be okay. He's hovering. He still has Iron Bark. It's going to fade now, but Daisyduke's still taking the brunt of this exchange. He's at 65% healthier, and they're never, ever letting him get that polymorph off. He's constantly getting interrupted. As I say that, he lands a polymorph, but I'm not sure where exactly it went. I think it actually went to Klba when he wasn't informed. This is Recklessness from Blizo. He wants to get offensive on to Stoen. Stoen's going to get away. He's going to use that Barkskin. It's going to get DR bashed from Klba. He's going to get cloned up at low health, and that Barkskin's going to fade. They might want to swap onto him, but Daisyduke now at 26% healthier, and he's forced to block.
Yeah, and this Turbo Cleave has all the momentum in their power right now. The full kidney shot coming out onto Zeepai, the deep into Ring of Frost onto Klba. He does get interrupted though by Blizo shutting down all that CC. They're just going to throw a blind onto him, but Patricia in a lot of trouble. Does have that wall up at the moment, spamming that feint. Stoinkenøv into that full Stormbolt, going to use that NS to try to get out a lot of healing. Klba does have his Heart of the Wild up. Does Ironbark Zeepai, and Zeepai, Blizo, and Klba are going to be completely fine. And Daisyduke getting pressured very hard right now. Blizz and Zeepai both on top of him, but the full kidney shot coming out on the Blizz. Klba not in any CC though, and Blizz just going to use that in Rage Regeneration and still under no pressure.
Yeah, Stoen finally catching some breathing room here, but he doesn't have a trinket for 7 more seconds. It's going to come up right about now, 5 more seconds. Daisyduke put into that Stormbolt, but he's just going to go ahead and blink. Stoen, though, he's fine. The RMT's finally figured out a way to, not necessarily figured out a way, but they're starting to feel okay. But this Turbo is all at 100% health here with all of their cooldowns available to them. In 12 seconds, Blizzo's going to have his Die by the Sword, so a potential swap isn't going to be available anymore. There's the Bash and the Blizo, the Poly on the Zeepai. This is some good cross CC, but nothing else is necessarily getting done for this RMD. They're looking for the setup still. The Hex goes out onto Daisyduke. He can't dispel himself. Now Stoen into that Stormbolt in the middle of the map. He's getting chunked. He's down to 50% health here, but Blizo has to get away to peel for Klba as this is Killing Spree Orb onto him. Barkskin coming out. He's in bear form, but is it going to be enough? There's the Ice Nova coming out as well, the Displacer Beast. He's got Iron Bark up, and Stoen pushing in to try to get that offensive clone, but it's going to get shadow melded by Klba. Klba's going to be okay for now, but that was a scary swap from this RMD.
And Klba doesn't have Barstian or Ironbark or NS available, but he does have his trinket, so if they decide to swap on him again, he's probably going to trinket at high HP to try to avoid some of that damage in the kidney shot. Stoinkenøv getting attacked by Blizo, going to pop that Barskin and root up Blizo with that automatic root. He's able to get away with Displacer Beast, able to top himself off, but now he's in a position where he has no Barskin and no trinket, so if they swap on him, it could be scary again. Zeepai taking a little bit of damage, just going to answer it with that Shamanistic Rage. Ascendant's coming up from him. They're trying to turn around to pressure on Patricia, but he does have that wall up right now, stacking higher and higher. He's now at 5 stacks, so he's taking 50% reduced damage, as well as having Feint up. Patricia not going to be the kill target, but they were able to get that wall cooldown out of the way from him. Daisyduke pushing back, but Zeepai caught into that full kidney shot. Daisyduke trying to get out some damage with the Frostbolts on him. Stoinkenøv caught into the full fury. He has no trinket available for another 22 seconds. Daisyduke taking a little bit of damage, but Zeepai not able to connect on him. Patricia just sitting on him. Finally, the Windwalk Totem comes out, and they're going to be able to reconnect on a Stoinkenøv, who has no trinket, no Barskin available for another 5 seconds. He is in bear form, just desperately trying to get away, and he will, as Zeepai is getting spam polymorphed by Daisyduke.
Stoin wants to get a drink. He's trying to go for it, but he keeps getting pulled back into combat. This is Killing Spree Smoke Bomb onto Zeepai, though. This could be it. That's the ring onto Klba. The DR cheap shot onto Zeepai. Shaman Rage's going to come out. The DR Cyclone onto Klba's Trinket, though. This could be it right here. Ironbark's still up on him. So is Shaman Rage, and the Nature Swiftness is going to keep him okay. But Patricia now on the back foot. The Polymorph actually getting reflected onto Daisyduke. Patricia's going to be okay with that Nature Swiftness. The Cyclone up onto Patricia. Stoin's mana is at 10% here at this point. He really needs to figure out a way to get a drink as we go into that 1% dampening. He's looking for that Cyclone, the Kidney Shot on a Zeepai, the Deep Freeze on the Klba. He doesn't have a trinket into the full Polymorph. They want to get offensive onto Zeepai. There's the DR Kidney Shot. It's just going to get trinketed instantly. He's trying to keep the heals on himself. Klba getting the heals on himself. There's the Stormbolt onto Stoin. They want to go on to him. There's the Barkskin as well. 5% mana. Daisyduke getting dip. He's forced into the block, and now all of a sudden this RMD is on the back foot.
Yeah, dampening just kicking in too, and both healers actually having mana issues. Stoinkenøv even worse, completely but there comes the Killing Spree onto Klba. Does have that Barskin up, he is in bear form, he's going to be completely fine for now. Displaces away, gets behind the pillar, he's going to be able to hot himself up. Daisyduke under a lot of pressure, and Stoinkenøv completely tapped on mana. Patricia does have that wall up once again, so he's not going to be an ideal target, but Stoinkenøv going to have a really hard time topping off his team with no mana whatsoever. He is really far away, and he's going to sit down for a drink. They need to stop this drink. He's getting so much mana. His mana is going up and up and up and up, and they're not able to stop it. Finally, Blizo heroic leaping in and stopping a little bit of that drink.
But is it going to be enough?
Yeah, Daisyduke getting chunked down and sacrificing that block for the little bit of mana Stoinkenøv got from that drink.
He needed the mana, but I don't know. This RMD is behind the Cenarian Warren onto Daisyduke. Daisyduke is out of blocks for 2 minutes. And Stoinkenøv still has 30% mana. There's the Polymorph onto Klba. The Shaman comes out on Zeepai as well. Patricia, though, he's taking some damage. Evasion is going to be used. Klba coming out of that CC finally, helping keep up. There's the Nature Swiftness. Zeepai is going to be okay. The cross CC onto Blizo. He's going to get dispelled out of that. 11% dampening at this point, and this RMP's got to figure something out quick. This is the Killing Spree onto Zeepai. That was the Garrote onto Klba. He's getting interrupted on that cast, but he's going to be able to continue to cast in that tree. But there's the Deep Freeze, the Iron Bark onto Zeepai. Blizo into that Cyclone as well. The Orb coming out. Zeepai could be in a little bit of trouble. That's the Ascendance coming out. I'm sure he's trying to just use that to heal himself. The Double Fear goes out into both the DPS. Zeepai is going to be okay for now. As they get deeper and deeper into dampening, this turbo is going to get more and more of an advantage. But Stoin somehow out of all this is gaining mana. He's at 45% mana at this point. Daisyduke getting the reflected on the Polymorph, getting locked out on the next. But that's Reckless's Blade Storm going to force Daisyduke to get away. Patricia now in that bash. He's dipping relatively low. It's going to force the evasion and the Iron Bark.
Yeah, that's a lot of cooldowns coming out of Stoinkenøv and Patricia while they're targeting him down. The full blind coming out onto Klba, though. It looks like Zeepai is going to be the target of choice once again. Getting Kidney Shot, immediately answering that with the Shamanistic Rage. He does have Trinket. Klba also has his Trinket available in that full Polymorph. But Zeepai getting cloned up there by Stoinkenøv, and that was actually kind of good for Zeepai. I mean, his healer was CC'd, and he got to avoid a little bit of damage there while in that clone. Patricia popping that wall once again, stacking higher and higher. But once that wall fades, I mean, he's going to be a really, really good target for Blizo and Zeepai moving forward as dampening gets higher and higher.
Yeah, looking at the Restoration Druid's mana, I mean, they're both pretty much even. Blizo pushing in onto Daisyduke once again. Daisyduke is going to have Cold Snap in 7 more seconds, so he's going to have a block available to him. But is it going to be in time? Yeah, he's going to be okay. He's going to blink away from this double melee, catch some heals from Stoin. Stoin now taking a bit of damage. Zeepai has that preemptive Iron Bark on him. I'm not sure about that. That was the cloak coming out from Patricia as well. He wants to push in, but he gets bashed up on it. Stoin in the Stormbolt in the background here. I'm not sure what this turbo wants to do. It looks like they want the Rogue. Ironbark going out onto Patricia here at this point. He's spamming that feint, making sure that he's not too vulnerable to a swap. There's the Kidney Shot onto Blizo. This is going to be the Killing Spree as well onto Blizo in this Smoke Bomb. There's the ring onto Klba, the DR Cheap Shot. Zeepai even getting cloned up. Die by the Sword being forced out. And Patricia now on the back foot at 35% health here. Stoin into that fear. He's going to have to trinket it. Stormbolt goes on to Patricia. He's going to have to trinket it. Nature Swiftness comes out from Stoin. Patricia's going to be okay for now, but Blizo, he's at 30% health here. He's spinning to win away from this Rogue, but now that's the Kidney Shot onto Klba. Blizo could be in some trouble.
Klba actually got a kidney shot on his ass there, and it got dispelled off by Daisyduke, so he wasn't able to get off that NS. He wasn't able to give Blizo that huge heal, and Blizo could be in a lot of trouble because of this. The double CC coming out onto Zipa as well as Klba. The full sheep onto Klba. He's going to trinket that. He does have Heart of the Wild up. He has full hots on Blizo with Ironbark, so he will be able to survive. I think Stoinkenøv in a lot of trouble. Down to almost execute range, hovering around 25% HP. Uses that Ironbark. Amplify magic coming out from Daisyduke there, giving Stoinkenøv's heals a little bit more power, but he is completely tapped on mana once again, and I don't know if they'll make the same mistake by letting him drink, but he is in cat form, just running across the entire map, and now he's going to sit down for a drink. Daisyduke has a block available. Trisha could be in a little bit of trouble, and his mana is just going higher and higher and higher as he sits down for a drink. Finally going to stand up. He realizes Patricia's in a little bit of trouble, needs to get those hots out onto him. Cloak of Shadows comes out from Patricia, but he's hovering in execute range. Finally, up to around 30% HP, he does have full hots, and he's able to get away, and this RMD has pulled back and recovered a little bit.
Yeah, Klba's mana might be an issue here going in. I mean, there's one more block for Daisyduke, though. He's at 60% health here. There's the bash on the Klba, the kidney shot in the Zipai. Can they set it up here? They need some follow-up CC. There's the full clone on the Klba. They're still trying to do damage to Zipai, but Zipai is doing a great job off-healing himself, getting those wolves out and everything. That's the Iron Bark coming out from Klba onto Zipai, but Daisyduke, he's caught on the back foot. He has to pull back a bit here. He's at 36% health here. He doesn't want to just give away one of these blocks. He's pulling back with his Restoration Druid. Iron Bark coming out. He's got Stenarian Ward. He should be okay for now, but look at the purges coming out from Zipai, really making Stone's life very, very difficult. And now this is the spin to win on to Daisy. He can't be peeled here for just a bit longer. Patricia into that bash, though. This could be it. He's at 30% health here. They're swapping over to him. He's dipping into execute range, and he gets cloned up at low health from Klba. That was a nice move. Can he follow it up? There's the Hex onto Daisyduke as well. And Patricia, he's at 3% health here. He's got Cloak available to him. He's trying to avoid this execute, but it's not going to be enough. The Polymorph goes out into Blizo, but he's still going to get executed, and the first win is going to go to this Turbo at 39% dampening.
And Blizo slam dunking in there at 40% dampening. Unbelievable. But the heroic leap execute going to be too much. That was a back and forth game, but takes a while for stuff to happen until dampening kicks in.
Yep. Take a quick look at the Rogue, 3% health there. Keep an eye on Blizo. That's the Polymorph, but he's going to get that execute off. And the first win's going to go to the Turbo. This is a best-of-5 series between this RMD and Turbo Cleave to determine who goes to the finals. So here we go. It is a best-of-5. The first team that gets the 3 wins will advance. Alright. Alright, the next map chosen by this RMD is going to be on Táylr Arena. Here we go. Jumping right into it. So in Táylr Arena, I mean, this is going to allow the RMD to I feel like it's going to give him more mobility, but Stoen, getting all those drinks off are just so key. But, I don't know, is he going to be able to do it every game? I feel like this Turbo is going to somehow adapt and be able to try to prevent him to get these drinks off. I feel like they can end it a lot faster if they can prevent those drinks, but can they? I mean, with Displacer Beast Shadow Meld getting out of combat and getting those drinks off, it might be impossible, but here we go. 27 seconds till the gates open.
Yeah, it can be difficult, especially when he goes for the drinks. If like they're being caught in stuns, if they're being actually swapped onto and they're pressured a little bit, it's hard for them to get that much distance and stop the drinks. But he's never really gotten too much mana. I think both drinks only took him up to around 30% mana, so he was able to sit down, but he didn't get to like top off his mana or anything like that. But we'll see what they do if this RMD can do anything different, see if they can make any swaps onto Klba. But Klba played very well last game, always in bear form for anything they really did. Also pre-Iron Barking a lot of their swaps, which is very key to this Turbo Cleave surviving. Zipai going to get sapped right away. Klba caught into that full Deep Freeze Ring of Frost. It looks like they are going to open up onto Blizo right away. He has no hots available for him, but it looks like Zipai is going to be the one who gets swapped to into that full kidney shot. But Klba, being in bear form, not going to have any follow-up CC for him, even though he's in this DR kidney shot from the Shadow Reflection. He has Ascendance up right now, and Klba is going to be able to top him off with hots.
Yeah, Daisyduke now taking a bit of pressure from this Turbo Ironbark going out onto Klba. Klba just doing a good job, just rotating through his defensive cooldowns as they need it, but Recklessness coming out onto Daisyduke. Stormbolt onto Stoen. They're going to swap over to Stoen, actually. This is actually the kidney shot bomb onto Klba, though. He doesn't have Shaman Rage available to him. He's at 50% health here. The Deep Freeze goes out onto Klba. If there's anything to follow it up, there's the full blind into the sap. Klba could be in some trouble, but he's doing a great job off-healing himself, and the heal's just coming out onto Klba. He's going to be completely fine regardless of all that CC and bomb.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake, I think, blinding him and immediately sapping. He could have waited till the end of the blind and sapped. I guess he thought maybe he was trying to sap his trinket or something like that. I don't know, but ended up being a big overlap and not really able to accomplish much with that blind, as Klba was just sitting behind the pillar healing himself up. But that is the full defreeze on the Klba right now. I don't think they're going to have any follow-up CC for that, and because of that, Klba is not going to have to use his Shamanistic Rage. Klba still has his trinket available to him. Daisyduke taking a little bit of pressure. The Ironbark is going to fade off him, so he could be in a little bit of danger. The clone coming out from Stoinkenøv onto Klba try to prevent some of those dispels and a little bit of damage, but at this point, both teams have stabilized.
Yeah, Klba is not going to have the ability to heal himself like that again. If they can make that setup, again, there's the kidney shot onto Klba, the deep freeze onto Klba. Shaman Rage coming back out of Klba, though. He should be okay for now. Into the full ring, though. Klba pulling back, trying to get into a better position, but they're gonna go ahead. Klba's out of CC at this point. Klba is gonna be completely fine. But Daisyduke taking quite a bit of pressure from Blizo. Blizo's in that battle stance, really pushing the damage onto Daisyduke. The Stormbolt going out onto Stoen. He's gonna shadow meld it and start drinking early on. He's adapting to this composition. 40% health here on Daisyduke, though. He's got to stop drinking. Stoen, though, getting that Nature Swifters off, topping Daisyduke, no problem. Klba in that kitty shot. Ironbark coming out. He's healing himself as well. Safeguard even on top of that. So Klba is going to be okay, but I mean, how many times they could do that? I'm not sure. The full poly goes out into Blizo. He's just going to get dispelled, but this RMP's trying to push in. This is the killing spree onto Klba, and he doesn't have Shaman Rage for 6 more seconds. Klba's in that bear form. He did get locked out. There's the Garrote on top of Klba, the Garrote onto Klba as well. He's in a lot of trouble here. There's the kidney shot. The Shaman Rage comes back. The deep freeze onto Klba. He's going to trinket it. The rallying cry on top of it all. Can they keep pushing the damage onto Klba? Klba's not into any more CC. Genesis heals comes out. Klba is going to be okay for now. The poly on to Blizo, but Klba is still on the back foot. This RMD is just pushing the CC, pushing the damage, but it looks like they've run out of steam finally.
Klba trying to get away with not using a Shaman Wall there, and because of that, Klba actually had to use his trinket, and he had to use the Shaman Rage anyway, so being a little greedy there, and it didn't end up paying off. Patricia caught into that full clone. He does have the wall up right now. They're just trying to clone off those stacks. It's going to fade right now, so he is a decent target for this Turbo Cleave at the moment. Dampening still not going to be in for another minute and 16 seconds, but Patricia having to pop that evasion as well as the Ironbark coming out from Stoinkenøv. A little bit of overlap on those defensive cooldowns. The full blind coming out from Klba. Icy Veins from Daisyduke. They're going to try to make something happen here onto Klba as the Ironbark's going to fade. If they can get follow-up CC onto Klba out of that blind, Klba could be in a lot of trouble. Patricia having to play defensive right now, using the Cloak of Shadow, spamming out that feint, but Klba using that Ascendance as well as the Shaman Wall, just kiting and try to stabilize himself as his healer isn't a full CC, but he is caught into that full kidney shot, no trinket available. Klba finally out of CC, able to reconnect onto him, spamming out every hot possible, and it looks like Klba is going to be completely fine.
Yep, he's fine for now. Daisyduke, though, on the back foot. He's at 60% health here, and this Blizo just never leaving him alone. There's the cheap shot onto him. He's going to just rage right away. They're going on to the warrior now. Speller Flick coming out. He is in defensive stance. The deep freeze onto Klba. The kidney shot onto Klba. They're swapping it back over to him. He's at 65% health here. This is the bomb on top of that. The grounding comes out. The DR kidney shot over that. He's out of the smoke bomb, though. There's the Ironbark. Klba is going to be okay for now. They're just trading these short cooldowns, these short defensive cooldowns for these setups from this RMD over and over and over again. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make this happen until dampening, but as I say that, 1% dampening hits. So Klba's mana could be an issue as well. They're actually going on to him. There's the kidney shot killing spree on to Klba. This is Orb as well. He's got Barkskin. He's in human form. He does have his trinket available to him, but he has nothing else besides that. There's the bear form coming out of that. He needs to get away from this RMD. The Garrote on top of that, he's going to displace away. 40% health here. He's only got one hot on him, but dampening now at 3%. And he's going to get cloned up. They're switching the pressure over to Klba. Klba instantly going to react with that Shaman Rage, trying to prevent that swap. But Daisyduke, he's taking a bit of damage. He's at 40% 40% health here. Ironbark coming out from Stone. Both Druids at around the same amount of mana, 40% and 44%. Zeepai is going to be the kill target once again for this RMD, but I don't know. 6% dampening the advantage, I feel like, is going to the turbo as we get deeper and deeper into dampening, but it might backfire on them as it's very hard for no matter what healer on either side to pick their teammates back up.
Yeah, that is the vigil out of Stoinkenøv right now, and just trying to increase his hots. And Klba's going to sit down for a drink, see if they can stop it. Daisyduke immediately blazing speed, put blading speeds in on his with his Nikes, puts Klba into that deep freeze, trying to get the Ring of Frost out, but does get interrupted on that. Because of that, Klba's going to be fine. Patricia getting chunked down very, very hard. Cenarian Ward coming out of Stoinkenøv onto him, and Patricia's just going to retreat, potentially just go for a re-stealth right about now. He does have that rend on him for a little bit longer, but does get that re-stealth running in. Cheap shot on Blizo, cheap shot on Zeepai, and it looks like he's just going to be running, playing a little bit defensive, trying to go for another re-stealth, and this RMD is going to be pulling back on the back foot at the moment.
Yeah, Stoen at 60% mana, man. That's a big deal for this turbo, but I don't know. No, last time they made it happen regardless. There's the Garrote onto Zeepai, the full ring onto Klba. Zeepai's pulling back. He does have that Shaman Rage available to him. There's the kidney shot. He's going to press it. He's going to answer that Shaman Rage, or that kidney shot with that Shaman Rage. Klba now pushing in, gets the bash onto Patricia. Maybe they want to swap it over to him in that full bash, but he's dipping down to 50%. Blizo wasn't there to help him with that swap, but Patricia's still a bit overextended. They're swapping over onto him. Stoen, though, not in any CC at this point. The Polymorph goes out onto Zeepai, trying to prevent that that counter pressure onto Patricia. The Stormbolt onto Stoen. They're swapping over to him. He's in human form. He's got Barskin available to him. Displaces away. Blizo's just going to spin the win, but he's going to jump right back on to looks like Daisyduke to try to prevent the momentum from this RMD onto Zeepai. Zeepai's got that Ironbark up. This is going to be Heart of the Wild heals on top of that. Zeepai, though, doesn't have Shaman Rage for 16 more seconds. This could be something interesting. There's the Deep Freeze on Klba. Zeepai still hovering. He's doing a good job healing himself as well, getting those purges out into day. Daisyduke dipping into execute range and is forced to block.
Against Stoinkenøv, having a hard time picking him off. He is in that block. His hots aren't going to get dispelled at the moment. But Stoinkenøv is sitting back at the moment. Does put that Cenarian Ward on Daisyduke, but his mana is a huge issue at this point. 25% mana, Klba at 30% mana, but I don't think Klba goes through mana quite as inefficiently as Stoinkenøv does because of that Enhancement Shaman spam purge. Klba is caught into that full clone right now. He does have Heart Hots on Zeepai, who pops that Shaman Wall in response to a little bit of this RMD damage. Daisyduke does have Frozen Orb available. Killing Spree is still ready to go, so they might try to make something happen with those huge offensive cooldowns now that Zeepai doesn't have his Shamanistic Rage ready to go. And he's hovering around 30% HP. The Garrote onto Klba right now does throw out an NS onto Zeepai with that Ironbark, but he's having such a hard time topping him off. That's the Frozen Orb. He is caught into that full kidney shot, the full clone, as well as the defreeze onto Klba at the moment. Klba has his trinket available. He's sitting to sit that, but at the last second trinkets, he knows Zeepai's in a little bit of trouble. This could be the end of the game, but it looks like he's going to get away and able to stabilize, just using that pillar to his advantage the best he can.
Klba doesn't have a trinket in NS or Shaman Rage available to their team, so if this RMD can continue to be offensive, they might be able to get something done on Zeepai. But Stoen, on the other hand, is dealing with Blizo with recklessness. He gets away with only using, I believe, just Barkskin there, so they're okay for now. But Shaman Rage is now available for Zeepai, so they're going to have to get through that. Patricia, though, taking a bit of damage from this turbo. He's got Feint up. This is the Stormbolt. He's going to trinket. He's trying to get away from these guys. That was the Vanish, but he gets pulled out once again. But Stoen, he's going for a cheeky drink. But was it going to be enough? He's at 22% health here. Cenarian Ward coming out. He's gonna go ahead and step to Stoen and push in and or actually pull back with his Restoration Druid, as that was very, very scary moment for him. The triple fear coming out from Blizz, though. They're jumping back onto Patricia. Stoen stuck in that fear for a bit longer. The Stormbolt on to Patricia. He's gonna get heals from his Restoration Druid. That was Nature Swiftness and Ironbark. Patricia's gonna be okay for now, but how much longer can they do that? Stoen now taking some damage. That was the bash. They're swapping back over onto, it looks like Daisyduke. His turbo is just pushing in and pressing damage on wherever they can hit. Daisyduke forced to block again. We're at 32% dampening. That's the kidney shot onto Klba. They want to swap it over to him now. This is Orb onto Klba as well. He's got Barkskin. This is Bomb on top of it. Zeepai probably can't heal him in this. He's at 27% health here. Is this going to be it? Klba's got to survive. He's at 33% dampening, but the Rogue's going to go down. Can they get the cross kill? Klba at 7% health here. He's going to Blaze away. Daisyduke trying to push in drastically, but they know it's over, and that's going to be a 2-0 for the Turbo Cleave.
Once again, around 35%, 40% dampening. But that was good. That was a huge swap on him. They were almost able to kill him through Barksyan, which is pretty crazy.
Wow, that was intense, man. Intense. Yeah, they almost made it happen. They almost killed Klba, even though, I mean, that dampening can go either way, like I said. Oh, right. Let's ask this RMD what map they want next. If you guys are on Ravencrest EU Alliance side and you want to join the GCD TV EU guild, feel free to whisper Dmachine on Ravencrest for an invite, and I will toss you an invite. All are welcome, but subscribers do get a special rank that has guild repairs, stuff like that, and can also create guild events. Alright, the next map chosen by For Me Talby is going to be Tiger's Peak Arena. Here we go. Whew, I'll see you guys in the arena. Alright. Alright guys, welcome to Tiger's Peak Arena. I'm in the game now, guys. I did invite a couple people to the guild, but I can't invite everybody just yet. I probably should have said that when I had a bit more free time. But here we go. This is going to be the third match of this best of 5 series. For Me Talby is on the ropes at this point. If they lose one more game, they will be sent, or they will be eliminated, excuse me. This is the lower bracket semifinal. So here we go.
We'll have to see if this RMD can make something happen. They had a lot of good swaps that game, but ultimately not able to really finish anybody off against this very, very tanky Turbo Cleave team. Patricia looking for an opener, does get that cheap shot on the Blizo right away. The Ring of Frost coming out does get interrupted on that. Stoinkenøv going to put Zipai into that full clone, and really this RMD didn't really get a great opener.
Oh, not at all. Zipai put into that polymorph, but he's just going to come out of it. Blizo now spinning to win all over Daisyduke. The Iron Bar coming out from Stone as well. Patricia wants to get offensive, though. That's the kidney shot into Zipai. Shaman Rage being forced, as that was Adrenaline Rush. Klba coming out of that CC now. Zipai is going to be completely fine. I feel like this RMD needs to get a lot of defensive cooldowns out of this Turbo if they want to make something happen early game, but it's probably going to be brought down to dampening. Who knows? Shaman Rage finally falling off of Zipai at this point. The RMD, Patricia seems to be taking more damage earlier on than later on. This is Recklessness on that bash. Patricia might be in some trouble into the DR stun of the Cap Totem. Patricia's going to come out of that CC finally and be okay. Recklessness is not over. He's going to charge up Daisyduke. Swap the pressure around Stone, though. Not in any CC. Both Resto Druids sitting completely fine and not in any CC. They're both teams just looking for their setup.
Yeah, and that was Blizo's recklessness there. Stoinkenøv doesn't have his trinket available, but not particularly important in this matchup at this point in the game. Daisyduke's going to be able to dispel Zipai's hex onto him. Really the only CC they have is Cyclone, which is hard for them to get, and the Fear, which has a long cooldown. Klba sat that full bond into a full polymorph. Zipai taking a little damage. Going to pop that Shamanistic Rage at around 60% HP to try to prevent a little bit of that incoming damage. The offensive clone coming in from Stoinkenøv, but Daisyduke actually forced into that block at the same time. And now that Klba's out of CC and Zipai's out of CC, he's probably going to be able to top him off. Gets the NS up, but he gets Garroted on it. He might get spell stolen, trying to line of sight those Mage spell steals, but he does get the NS off, throws the Ironbark onto Zipai, and he's going to be completely fine. And in the midst of Zipai getting trained down there, Daisyduke had to block.
He did have to block, and he also uses Cold Snap. But Daisyduke's getting dipped down. He has Hypothermia for one more second. It's going to fall off now. He's got a block available to him. He's got Iron Bark on him. He should be okay for now, but Stoen now taking a bit of damage from Blizo. Blizo just going and hitting whatever he can, spinning to win on Daisyduke again. He's at 65% healthier. These spin the wins are killing these water elementals over and over and over again. Daisyduke dropping down to about 65% healthier. Stoen was put into that Stormbolt. Patricia also taking a bit of damage. And the Native Swiftness goes out onto Patricia. Daisyduke reflecting that polymorph onto himself. Blizo now sitting in that polymorph, but Klba on his game, getting that dispel off very quickly. The deep freeze onto Klba. Z-Pi in that kidney shot, but he's got that Shaman Rage available to him. Iron Bark coming off a cooldown in 6 more seconds. He's just going to press the Shaman Rage right away. Blizo looking at Patricia, just peeling a little bit. Klba into that DR polymorph though. Z-Pi, it should be okay. He's got the Shaman Rage up for 5 more seconds, and Klba's out of that CC finally, but now Stoen's taking a bit of pressure from Blizo. Blizo just hopping around, just doing damage to whatever he can. Now he's on Blizo at the, or I'm sorry, Blizo's on Stoen, but oh, that cheeky juke to get Blizo to fall off. He's swapping over to Patricia. Patricia's at 26% healthier. He gets the cheap shot off. Patricia could be in a little bit of trouble. He doesn't have a trinket available to him. Iron Bark's up. Is this going to be it? He's at 19% healthier. He's got the stealth off regardless. Big heals coming out from Stoen. It's going to top Patricia off. He's going to be okay for now, but Patricia could be vulnerable for the next 2 minutes to a potential swap.
Yeah, he actually had to use his second evasion there. That was his prep evasion. He does have combat readiness coming up in a few seconds, so he has that available. Stoinkenøv taking a little bit of damage, throwing that NSL into Patricia. He's far away, even though he's low HP. He's going to be able to top himself off, just spamming out the Cyclones, trying to assist offensively. He doesn't care that he's low HP. Putting Klba into that full clone. The Stormbolt coming out on the Stoinkenøv right now, though. Z-Pi, once again, getting targeted down. Just going to sit at the pillar. LOS Daisyduke, pop that Shaman. He's going to get topped off by Klba, who's not NCC anymore. And Z-Pi making sure to abuse the pillar as much as possible as that enhancement Shaman to try to avoid that incoming damage. But now he's into the full kidney shot. He has to trinket that immediately because he has no Shaman Rage available. Klba caught into the deep freeze, but there's going to be no follow-ups. You see, there's the blind. He decides to trinket that. Going to be able to top off Z-Pi, and Z-Pi is going to be completely fine at the moment. Daisyduke still doesn't have a block for another 19 seconds. Cold Snap's going to be up pretty soon. Patricia has no cooldowns left, though, absolutely none. So he's going to be a very, very viable target for this Turbo Cleave.
Yeah, you can tell he knows it too. He's sitting behind that pillar. He's trying to get that re-stealth off. Iron Bark's going to fade. He's going to push in with a re-stealth, grow onto Z-Pi. There's the full kidney shot as well. But on top of that, Blizo's spinning to win. He gets cloned up right after that Blade Storm. Patricia is taking a bit of the damage from this Turbo once again. I think this Turbo really wants to land a kill onto Patricia. Z-Pi is taking the damage of the RMD, but no CC going out onto Klba just yet. There is the Stormbolt going out onto Stoen, the clone onto Patricia. Maybe they want to swap it over onto Daisyduke. Daisyduke taking a bit of pressure from this Turbo now as well. The cloak coming out for Patricia. He's not going to have that defensively later on. Not that it's going to matter much to this cleave, but Daisyduke does have that block available, rather the Cold Snap available to him to get that block back. There's the Deep Freeze onto Klba. Z-Pi taking a bit of damage. That's Killing Spree. Shaman Rage being forced into the full polymorph onto Klba. Z-Pi taking a bit of damage, but with that Shaman Rage, he should be okay throughout this CC. He's healing himself quite a bit as well with that Ascendance. Daisyduke, though, pushing in and forced to, his healer is forced to use that Iron Bark on himself, but he does have that block available to him now as he does use that Cold Snap finally.
Yeah, and dampening has now kicked in at 6% HP, so we will see pressure from both teams going up as that dampening is going to reduce incoming heals from all 6 players. Blizo caught into a polymorph. They're trying to get cross CC going out as they swap onto Z-Pi. He has no Shaman Wall available for another 15 seconds. Trinket is up for him right about now. Klba's Trinket coming up in another 5 seconds. It is lined up with Patricia's blind right now, so if Patricia does decide to use that blind on Klba, he will have Trinket available for that. Patricia now caught into the clone from Klba. Daisyduke still getting pressured down a little bit. Spam Purge is coming out from Z-Pi over and over and over. And Daisyduke actually has no hots as Stoinkenøv's caught into that Stormbolt. He's going to blink back and finally catch some hots as Z-Pi is caught into that full clone. Daisyduke under a little bit of pressure, but he does have block available for when he needs it, and a second block coming up in 2 minutes.
Stoen, man, he has 13% mana at this point. He could be in a bit of trouble. Iron Bark going out into Z-Pi. Blizo pushing in. He wants to get offensive. They actually interrupted that cast on that Water Elemental, which could be detrimental for Daisyduke to get something going. There's the Iron Bark onto Daisyduke. He's trying to push in. This is the Orb coming out as well. They want to go onto Zeepai, the Deep Freeze onto the Klba. Zeepai has that Shaman Rage available to him. Into the full ring on Klba, though. Zeepai dipping kind of low. Mark for death up. He's at 38% health here. The cheap shot goes on to Blizo. The half poly onto Klba. They want to get the kill onto Zeepai, but Zeepai is pulled back. He's trying to line of sight as much as he can. Stowing into that Stormbolt at 4% mana. This could be it. They're swapping it back over onto Patricia. Patricia's got that wall up, though. But can Stoen keep him up? Now Blizo swapping over onto Stoen, and Stoen could be in a lot of trouble with very little mana available to him. He's got the Bark Skin, but is that going to be enough at 17% dampening and with nothing else, with no mana? Patricia, everyone's just getting cleaved down on this RMD. Stoen is the main kill target, though. Blizo's going to jump in, get that Heroic Leap off. He's going to get the Execute off, and it is going to be a 3-0 for this Turbo, and they are going to the finals.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So in the finals, we are going to have a jungle versus a turbo. Before we hop right into the finals, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Take a quick break. Go ahead and grab some popcorn, grab a snack, use the bathroom, do whatever it is that you need to do, because we're coming back with the finals. The finals are going to be a best of 5. If the Jungle Cleave loses, as each team has one opportunity to lose a series in this tournament, there will be a second best of 7. So stay tuned for that, guys. We'll be right back.